Number 1 seeded Houston Cougars are with us. They are on their way to the Sweet 16. Head coach Kelvin Sampson is in the middle. LJ Cryer, Jawan Roberts accompanies him. We're going to ask the head coach to make a statement on the game, and then we'll go to questions for all 3 Cougars on the dais. Kelvin, please.
First of all, congratulations to Mark in Gonzaga's program. They're a tremendous role model for everybody. The consistency that they've had. That's why winning the game is significant. It's not just winning the game, it's beating a great program like Gonzaga. That was a high-level 1-8 game because they were not an 8 seed. That was a game that would have been awesome in the Elite 8 or Final 4. Gonzaga is really good. Ike, Huff, Nemhart, battle. The way they just kept battling. We made some bonehead plays. We're up 14, and Tugler made an unnecessary play. I wished I had not called that, but they almost have to because of the rules. They have to enforce the rules. I mean, that's why they're there. But hopefully the young man that did that, it's just unnecessary. It had no bearing on the play or the game, nothing. It was a nothing play. But what he did, he gave the referees no choice. And I told him that. But, you know, we had a big enough lead. We made a couple boneheaded plays down the stretch, but I'm not going to sit here and go through that this time of year. It's about advancing. Proud of our guys. Cryer and Roberts played the way they played all year. I mean, they're both first team All Big 12 players. Cryer's an All-American, and one's the winningest player in the history of University of Houston basketball. So very blessed that I get to coach these 2 young men and survive in advance, right?
Thank you. Questions? Start on the right-hand side, gentlemen.
Cole Forsman from Gonzaga on SI. Coach, you talked a little bit about the relationship you had with Few going back to the Wazoo days. He's now a finalist for the Hall of Fame. Did you see that in him all those years ago, and just how remarkable of a story is his career?
Yeah, it is a great story, isn't it? No, I didn't see that all those years ago. I didn't even know what the Hall of Fame was all those years ago. You got to remember, I was the head coach when I was 31. I mean, who hires a 31-year-old, right? Just think of all the people that had to turn the job down to get to me. But Mark is Dan Monson. You know, I coached a USA team. I think we went to Halifax, Nova Scotia. I remember Chris Paul was our point guard, but Dan Monson was my assistant. And that's when I got really close with him. I always knew him through his dad, but really just fell in love with Dan on that trip. And Mark hasn't changed. You know, he's still the same humble guy that we all started together on the Palouse. You know, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I started on the southwest mountains of Montana and the southeastern Washington, 7 miles from Idaho's campus. I'm proud that I came from that, and I'm proud that Mark and I have grown. You know, just like Karen and I, Marcy and Mark. You know, our wives have meant so much to us. There's no chance we're where we are without our wives, and Mark would be the first to tell you that.
Question on the aisle. Thanks.
Grant Salzman, Columbia, Missouri. And Coach, what made them so hard to really pull away from and put away tonight? And then Also, what did you say to Khalif Battle at the end of the game in the handshake line? To Battle in the handshake line?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, they didn't miss any free throws. They were 15 from 15. You know, it's a pretty good recipe. And they're good. You know, this KenPom analytics are pretty spot on. You know, that's the 8th or 9th best team in the country. They should have never been seeded where they were seeded. I get the analytical component, but I also think the eye test should come into play too. You know, you look at that team. I mean, we just came from the Big 12. You know, and you know we're in a league with Kansas, Iowa State, Arizona, all those schools. Gonzaga's as good as anybody we've played all year, personnel-wise too. Ike and Huff, Nemhart. I mean, that's a really good team. Had they been seated somewhere else, that's a team probably has a chance to get to the Elite Eight, maybe even the Final Four. They're that good. So why we couldn't pull away is number one, let's give them credit. They kept playing. We made a couple of turnovers that we can't make down the stretch. Missed some free throws you can't miss. We're missing free throws and they're making free throws. That's a pretty good recipe for a lead shrinking. But I was proud of our guys for finding a way. You know, I think in the last 5 or 6 years we've played Ohio State, Rutgers. Who else we played one in this game? Texas A&M, Oregon, no, Rutgers, Syracuse. We played a bunch. It seemed like we're always playing a really good team in this round of 32. But like I said, Gonzaga. I mean, Gonzaga's. The respect I have from them is a little bit different because I grew up with them a little bit, and I know how good they are, and I know how much respect Mark and his staff. You know, Tommy Lloyd is in our league now. What Tommy's doing and will do at Arizona is going to be unbelievable. But you know, to beat the best says a lot about your program. So proud of my kids. Proud that we found a way to win a tough game, and that's what this tournament's about this time of year. Not sit around and analyze it or spend 10 minutes on how we lost the lead or no, just win in advance. That's all that matters.
We have 5 minutes to go. We've got a question here. We've got a Zoom call to make. Go ahead, please.
Awesome. Yeah. This is a question for Juwan. Juwan, you and Graham really had a big battle tonight down low. Can you comment on him as a player and what you can do offensively against him? He had 27, you had 18. It was a great matchup in the front court. Just comment on that.
I mean, you know, going into the game, you know, we know they wasn't going to help off our shooters, which is LJ Manuel. So I think playing through the short roll, you know, and shooting that shot that I rep every day, I just try to continue to shoot that shot. And, you know, Ike is pretty good. You know, he can score in both blocks. So it was a good matchup. You know, he was hard to guard, but, you know, I feel like at the end of the day, we kind of still did the job, though. You just find a way to win, like Coach said.
All right, let's go to the Zoom call. Jamison?
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, to look at the level of success that this program's had over the years, knowing that the collegiate model has changed with NIL and the transfer portal, just what you could say to sustaining success and the next man up approach year in and year out for Houston, continuing to go deep into this tournament.
Yeah, I think it starts with our staff. You know, our staff has been together, and the way we run our program. I like the fact that we run our program independent of anything else. You know, we make all our decisions in-house, and that's why we're winning. That's important. You know, basketball coach has got to know how to run his program, and he's got to have the leeway to make the decisions, especially if you're winning. And I work at a university that allows me to make my own decisions for this program. But Kellen, Quantas, who's just had a press. He'll become the new head coach at University of Louisiana, and he'll kill it. By the way, I'm really proud of him and the opportunity he has. But our staff, what our staff does with our player development, you know, we don't really live in the portal. I believe in it though. You know, this year we only took one portal kid, and that was Milos. Everybody else returned. Year before that, we took two, LJ and Damian. So we've always believed in recruiting high school kids and developing them, and that's how we've had a great culture. I think two of the great cultures in our country is Gonzaga and Houston, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've been to the Sweet 16. What is it? 9 in a row, right? Who does that? I mean, who does that? Please don't take them for granted. They're just awesome. I mean, I have so much respect for them, and this is number 6 for us, and I hope people don't take this for granted either. The staffs and the program, the players at those schools have to be high character kids that care more about winning than statistics. And you asked me about Khalif Battle. We played against him when he was at Temple. And first of all, I admire the young man for choosing to go to Gonzaga, because that tells me winning's important. You know, a lot of guys are in this portal, jump in the portal because they're not getting enough shots, not getting enough touches. They don't care about winning. When Battle chose to go to play for Mark and his staff, it showed some maturity, because it's not easy to go somewhere where you're going to get coached the right way. And he'll benefit from this. Those tears that he was at the end of the game told me how much he cared and how much this mattered to him. It's always a little sad because we were there last year when we lost to Duke. But proud of our guys, and Gonzaga's not going anywhere. They'll be back.
Anything else for the Cougars? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Best of luck in the Sweet 16.